Hi, I'm Tim Conaway and I'm running for President of the United States. In one of John Sandford's excellent crime novels, Detective Virgil Flowers refers to the FBI as a joke fest of fuck-around Frankies. Law enforcement is often portrayed in books and movies and television as not liking to deal with the FBI. Although, in fact, there are many people in law enforcement who think the FBI does a good job when they're doing the job that they are authorized to do. Recently, we heard about FBI agents being deployed into the offices of Twitter to make judgments on the information that was being presented by Twitter users and to declare various types of speech dangerous or inaccurate. It was a politicization of the agency. Now, some people say, well, okay, let's punish those FBI agents who were involved in this. But that's looking at it the wrong way. These people were doing what they were told to do by higher-ups. And in an organization like that, you do what you're told to do, and you're often told it's in the best interest of the United States. Or you stand up and say, I think this is wrong, I think this is not what we're supposed to do, and you soon find that you are being driven out of your job, if not fired entirely, and then the word goes around to all law enforcement agencies that you are not to be given employment, you're to be treated as an outcast. Leadership starts at the top. Leadership is a top-down situation, and so the leaders of the FBI have to be questioned and examined about why something like this would happen. These agents didn't just randomly wander into there to do this. We've also seen at the top level refusal to respond to subpoenas from Congress. This is politically motivated. There is no reason that anybody at the top of the FBI should ever refuse a subpoena from Congress. The idea of protecting personalities, keeping things secret, that's used. It's an excuse, but it's not a reason. We also found out that the CIA had some involvement in information regarding either Hunter Biden's laptop or the Russian interference in the election, Trump's involvement with the Russians. And again, whoever is doing that is doing that at the direction of someone from the top. All these agencies work from the top down. We have a Federal Bureau of Investigation that is supposed to investigate criminal activity in the United States, although they work in offices overseas as well in relation to criminal activity from outside the U.S. joining up with criminal activity in the U.S. We have the CIA, which is gathering intelligence about foreign governments and foreign operations, about rebel or revolutionary forces in various countries. We have the DEA, or the Drug Enforcement Agency, which was formed to fight the war on drugs, and more drugs are coming into the United States now than ever before. The DEA works both domestically and internationally. It's supposed to be finding where these drugs are coming from so that we can put a stop to them getting into the country, and they're supposed to be finding the drugs once they get into the country to put a stop to that. Very often, though, it's the long game of tracking down from the bottom up who's really in charge and trying to get evidence to cut the head off the snake. But these aren't snakes. These are organizations made up of human beings who, if one of them is moved out, replaced, arrested, convicted, however that head of the snake is made gone, a new head grows back right away. Drugs need to be stopped at the street level and moved on up. If you took everybody off the street corners who is selling drugs, then there's no drugs being sold and there's no money for these people. Their operations become cramped, become harder to work. But that isn't the approach, because a lot of it in any bureaucracy is about the headlines. Headlines were behind the formation of the Department of Homeland Security. This was a knee-jerk reaction to the attacks on September 11th in 2001, which led to the formation of this agency that's designed to protect us from these kind of terrorist activities. But when you look at what ranks under the heading Department of Homeland Security, you see that we've got the Immigration and Customs Enforcement, which used to be in the Department of Treasury. We've got the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. It used to just be ATF, and now it's ATFE. If you look at the Coast Guard, which used to be, again, under the Department of the Treasury, nothing new came about in the Department of Homeland Security other than another federal bureaucracy charged with doing something that we can see isn't working very well. We've also got the NSA, the National Security Administration, and the NSA. They're so secret that even their secrets have secrets. And because we have so many of these agencies, we have to have a director of national security who is supposed to keep an eye on all these agencies, but doesn't appear to have any real authority over them. It's somebody who tells the president what these groups are doing and when they're already doing it. We need to take a serious look at all of these agencies. I'm not saying we don't need them, and I'm not saying the purposes for which they're set up aren't good, but let's look at the results that we're getting. If we are not getting the kind of results that we need from these agencies, then that's a leadership problem. And it starts with the president. The president directs these agencies, A, to stay out of politics, and if they're not out of politics, he can make the moves to get rid of the people who are playing politics in these areas. If they're not accomplishing the goal that they're set to accomplish, the president can set some very clear expectations, some very clear directives for what needs to get done, when it needs to get done, and if the results aren't there, people are moved out and have the leadership roles, and they're replaced by people who will get the job done. It's these comfy bureaucracies. This is serious business that we're doing. This is not paper pushing, which is the typical bureaucratic job, but these people approach it like paper pushing and headline grabbing and grandstanding. They need to be held accountable for it. And some of these people who are involved in these political escapades not only need to be held accountable by losing their jobs, but they should face charges of malfeasance in office. They should be punished for what they're doing beyond simply being let go to become part of the private sector organization. As president, I can set clear expectations. I can define the goals that have to be done. I can set a timeline for when these things have to happen. And if they aren't taken care of, then I will take action against these people. We need to get, particularly the people that are protecting this country, we need to get those organizations working the right way. And that is what the president is supposed to do. I'm Tim Conaway. I'm running for president of the United States. And when you elect me to office, I will hold the bureaucrats accountable. I will make sure they're doing the job they're supposed to do. And most of all, I will see to it that these people serve the people of the United States and not a political party. I'm Tim Conaway. I'm running for President of the United States.